Hello students, welcome back to our class 9 biology lecture series. In today's video, we are going to study two very important parts of the cell. First is cell membrane, second one is cytoplasm. These two topics are very important for your board exams, and today I will explain them in the simplest way possible with daily life examples and diagram explanation. So let's get started. Starting off with cell membrane. Before we study the cell membrane, think about your house. Every house has a main gate. The gate does not allow everyone to enter. It decides who can come inside and who must stay outside. In the same way, every cell has a cell membrane. It works like the security gate of the cell. So, what is cell membrane? The cell membrane, also called the plasma membrane, is a thin living covering that surrounds the cell. Unlike the cell wall, the cell membrane is present in both plants and animal cells. Its main job is to protect the cell and control what enters and leaves inside the cell. Moving towards the chemical composition of cell membrane. The cell membrane is mainly made up of proteins, phospholipids, and small amount of carbohydrates. Protein is present in a percentage of 60 to 80%, phospholipids 20 to 40%, and a small amount of carbohydrates. You don't need to memorize every percentage for understanding, but remember that proteins are and phospholipids are the main components. Moving towards the fluid mosaic model. Scientists explain the structure of the cell membrane using the fluid mosaic model. It is the very important concept in the chapter of the cell. Although the name sounds difficult, the idea is very simple. Imagine a lake. Boats are floating on the surface of the water. The water can move freely and the boats also move with it. Similarly, the phospholipids form a flexible layer. The protein float inside this layer. Are you getting my concept? Okay, so the phospholipids form a flexible layer and the protein floats inside this layer. That's why it is called the fluid mosaic model. Fluid means the molecules can move. Mosaic means different type of molecules are arranged together in like pieces of a design. So that's why it is called fluid mosaic model. So now you can see in the diagram on the left side, the term says phospholipid bilayer. So let us understand what is the phospholipid bilayer. Phospholipid bilayer is a membrane which is made up of two layers of phospholipids. Bi means two, layers means layers. So there are two layers of phospholipids. That's why this is called phospholipid bilayer. This double layer forms the basic structure of the cell membrane and acts as a protective boundary. So there are different types of proteins present in the membrane. There are present only two types of proteins. First one is extrinsic proteins, second one is intrinsic proteins. So first we will discuss extrinsic proteins. As the name suggests, they are present outside. Ex means exit, means outside. These proteins are attached only to the surface of the membrane. Think of them like name plates fixed outside the door of a house. So these are called extrinsic proteins. Next one is intrinsic proteins. These proteins pass through the membrane. They act like doors or tunnels. They help water, nutrients, and other substances move in and out of the cell. Next one is cholesterol. In animal cells, cholesterol is also present in the membrane. Its job is to keep the membrane flexible. It prevents the membrane from becoming too hard or too stiff. Next is glycoproteins and glycolipids. You can see in the diagram. So let us discuss what are these. Some carbohydrates are attached to the proteins. These are called glycoproteins. Some carbohydrates are attached to lipids. They are called glycolipids. Their main function is cell recognition. Okay, if I give you an example, that think of your school ID card. The ID card tells everyone who you are. Similarly, glycoproteins helps cell recognize another cell. So moving towards the function of cell membrane. The cell membrane performs several important functions. It protects the cell. It acts as a barrier between the cell and its surrounding. It controls the movement of substances into and out of the cell. It maintains a stable internal environment. It works as the gatekeeper of the cell. Next one is the semi-permeable nature. One of the most important properties of the cell membrane is that it is semi-permeable. This means some substances are allowed to enter while others are stopped. So imagine the entrance gate of your school. Students and teachers are allowed inside, but strangers cannot enter without permission. Similarly, the cell membrane allows useful substances to enter the cell and prevents harmful substances from entering. This is why it is called semi-permeable or selectively permeable membrane. So now we are going to understand the diagram explanation, which is the fluid mosaic model. Okay, whenever you explain a diagram in biology, move from one label to another. First, look at the double blue layer. This is the phospholipid bilayer which forms the basic structure of the membrane. Next, notice the large purple protein passing through the membrane. This is the intrinsic protein. It forms channel that helps substances move across the membrane. Now look at the small purple proteins attached only to the surface. These are the extrinsic proteins. Next, observe the green branch structure attached to proteins. These are glycoproteins which help cells recognize each other. The green branches attached to lipids are called glycolipids. Finally, notice the small yellow molecules between the phospholipids. These are cholesterol molecules which keep the membrane flexible and stable. The entire structure is called the fluid mosaic model because proteins float in the phospholipid bilayer like boats floating on water. So, this topic is clear. Next, we will move toward the cytoplasm. Now let's move to the cytoplasm. So starting off with the question that what is cytoplasm? The cytoplasm is a jelly-like substance present between the cell membrane and the nucleus. It fills most of the inside of the cell. It contains about 90% of water. The remaining part contains dissolved nutrients, salts, and many other useful substances. So, moving on to the functions of cytoplasm. The cytoplasm performs many important functions, starting off with the first one. It is the place where many biochemical reactions take place. It stores food granules, it stores waste materials, it provides space for all the cell organelles such as mitochondria, ribosomes, and endoplasmic reticulum. Without cytoplasm, the organelles would not have a place to stay and work. So, if I give you an example, imagine a classroom. The classroom is like the cytoplasm. Inside the classroom, there are students, desks, chairs, and the teachers. Similarly, the cytoplasm provides space for all the organelles inside the cell. Each organelle performs its own function while staying inside the cytoplasm. So that's all for today's lecture. If you have any query or any problem, you can ask me directly. Thank you.